Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. And today we are talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, key emphasis on bizarre on this one, episode 36, Diablo Surfaces. Before we begin, though, I do want to quickly just say, if you're one of the people who watches my Fruits Basket videos, apologies. I won't be able to get the Fruits Basket video out today. I will get it out tomorrow, first thing, I promise. I had a bit of personal dilemma to kind of deal with, so I didn't get time to do both. I only had time for JoJo's, but Fruits Basket is on its way, I promise. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, when I said key emphasis on bizarre, I meant it, man. This episode is friggin' weird, like in a way that I haven't, like, I don't say that I haven't seen before, because this is JoJo's, but in a way that made me go like, dang it, Araki, why is it gotta be so complicated? Why is it gotta be so complicated? I think I actually have a headache, and not because it was bad, just because it was like mind-bending, like the things that you had to be, like, everything's explained, and it makes sense once it's explained, but it makes sense in that way that only Araki can make sense. My head, it hurts so much. Let's try to go through this thing from the start of the episode to the end, as we always have, which does start us off on sort of a sad note, because I gotta say, damn, farewell to my boy Doppio. I'm real sad. Doppio, how do I put Doppio? I don't hate Doppio in the same way that I hate the boss, right? Because the boss is evil. He's a bad dude. Now, Doppio's a bad dude too, but Doppio was my crazy boy. So I'm kind of like, and the way he goes out, the fact that he says, like, just, can you call me like you always have? I feel kind of lonely. And it's like, oh, Doppio, that's so sad. Like, the man felt alone in the end. Like, because he's always had the boss around. Diablo has always been around. So of course Doppio in the end, he feels alone because he's like, it's just him in Bucciarati's body. So of course he feels alone. He's terrified. He's on his own, and that's how he faces death, is alone. That's pretty scary. But at the same time, he does go out with this sort of comfort, knowing like, oh, the boss has got this. The boss, if the boss is over there, because he knew the boss was in somebody's body. I think he knew, I don't know if he necessarily knew it was in Mista's body. I think he just saw the body of the boss and was like, oh, okay, he's got this. If you're over there, then I'm okay. But I'm still scared, which is like, oh, like this man was scared in the end. Not scared, but like lonely in the end. Isn't that sad? I don't know, for some reason that broke my heart. I was like, Doppio, no. And then in the little like mid-episode break where they show you, like, they try to remind you like who's in whose body, and it just says like the body of Bucciarati passed away, which means Doppio also died. And I was like, aw, that's it. And people in the comments were pretty quick to be like, man, Doppio, like, he's gonna have another scene, but maybe you should like prepare yourself. And I was like, well, maybe, I don't know. But man, I still wasn't prepared. This still broke my heart. But we do move on from being brokenhearted into just kind of sitting on the edges of our seats, because this next part was pretty damn tense, following immediately where the last episode left off, with Polnareff holding the stand. Well, I guess holding the stand arrow was kind of biting the stand arrow. Maybe that works better. And telling Mista, like, you gotta pierce your stand on the arrow. I wonder if it's because Polnareff is a Joe Bro and recognizes, like, no. It's gotta be a Joe Bro. The Joe Bros are gonna take this home. Doesn't have to be a JoJo. It's gotta be a Joe Bro. Somebody's gonna think that I'm being entirely serious with that. I'm kidding. I'm just saying, like, it seemed funny to me that, like, a Joe Bro was being like, Joe Bro, other Joe Bro, you gotta save the day. Let the JoJo take the back seat on this one, but I think we all know that ain't gonna happen. It was pretty tense, man. Like the sudden, like, attack from, well, not sudden, but like the attack from Silver Chariot Requiem, or just Chariot Requiem, or just Requiem. I think they just referred to it as Requiem a couple times. The sudden attack from this thing, and even Mista going like, why is it chasing me? Like, just when he picks up Polnareff and just bolts, and like they climb up the friggin' thing, and he's trying to escape. Like, it was legit, and like everybody's on edge. Like everybody in that scene is like, oh my god, what is happening? It's really friggin' tense. And for a second, I thought we lost Polnareff, and I was like, not again. First my boy dies in his body. Don't kill my boy in the body of Turtle Buddy. Although I know Polnareff's already hanging by a thread and he is gonna die before the show's over, but like don't let it be here. Don't let him, not like this. Not like this. Shout out to Switch from the Matrix. Anyway, from here though, things get, as I said earlier, bizarre, because this is friggin' weird. What happens next is I can only describe as Silver Chariot reenacting Akira. Just look at these bystanders getting warped into something, and tell me the first thought in your head isn't Kaneda, help me. It's bizarre, is what I'm trying to say. I was gonna say it's weird, but I mean, let's be real. It's bizarre. That's the name of the game. So, on one hand, I'm impressed because these kind of gross designs always, in some way, just the artistic edge to it did have me go like, damn, that's impressive looking, creepy designs. But at the same time, I'm like, man, ew, I don't need to see that. Like when that friggin', what was it, like a something came out of Polnareff, and it was like, it had a claw. It looked like a crab, but like it was weird, like a crab claw with like a face on like a fish head. I don't even know what is even the hell. I don't need to see this. Like, I was like, so Requiem, what is even? Like, what is even? What is even? I feel like, yep, that's gonna be the bio for this video. What is even? Well, and then that followed up by the fact that the boss is inhabiting the body of somebody in the group, and it seemed incredibly, like once it's revealed who it is, it's Trish if you don't know. It should have been friggin' obvious, and I don't know why I wasn't like, oh, of course it's Trish. Like for some reason I was like, well, maybe it is Mista, because Mista's acting like kind of crazy right now. But at the same time, it makes sense why Mista's acting all antsy, right? Because Giorno just told him like the boss must be inhabiting somebody here. So of course Mista's like, how do I know it's not you? How do I know you're not like, what if it's you? You can't prove to me that it's not you. Stay away from me, Giorno. Which kind of breaks my heart because, in confession time, they're to me the Joe Bro and the JoJo of the part. But I kind of low-key understand why people might ship it, so like the bromance is real. So when like Mista straight up threatened to shoot Giorno, kind of broke my heart a little bit. I don't ship it, but like I could learn to ship it, and I understand why other people ship it. But like it still broke my heart regardless, because they're boys, and I don't want them fighting. You know what I mean? But nay, it was Trish, and yeah, that should have been friggin' really obvious. I don't know why it wasn't, but it was still cool though. And then it becomes a mad dash to the finish. The finish line in this case being Requiem, as the boss, in a kind of pretty crazy but also makes total sense twist, is able to grab Spice Girl and use Spice Girl to move Mista's body, which is like crazy, but it makes sense when you think about it, like given what we know about stands. It's wild. And it just becomes this crazy mad dash to get Requiem, and then we find out that the boss has figured out how Requiem works, and I think he kills Requiem, and it has something to do with shadows. Like, I get it, but damn it, Araki. It's bizarre. But again, that's the name of the game. It's bizarre, but it adds up, makes sense within the world. It's cool, I got it, whatever, moving on. What I want to move on to in particular is this. Trish is the best. Why do I say that? Because let me put it like this. Diavolo runs, Trish stands. Diavolo has spent his entire existence in this run doing nothing but running away from his past. And in this moment, Trish instead says, you know what? I'm not gonna run anymore. I'm not gonna run from this fate that you've written for me. I'm gonna face this, and I'm gonna beat you. And I was like, yes, Trish! But then it immediately becomes, no, Trish! Because It looks like Trish died. I friggin' hope not. I'm sincerely hoping that Trish isn't dead because I love Trish so much, especially in this moment. It was like, to me, this was the moment that this was her golden moment, if you will, and she just owns it. So I don't know for sure if she's dead. A part of me doesn't like it. A part of me is refusing to believe that Trish is gone because like we don't see any of like the misty, weird, sparkly stuff that happens when a stand user dies. We just see Trish kind of like her head rolls back. That was a big old punch to the gut. That was like a Dio punch, which by the way, we did get a Kono Diavolo da! We did get a moment like that in this episode, which if I didn't point it out, somebody in the comments would have. I heard it. It was glorious. This whole episode was freaking glorious. Bizarre, but glorious. I'm betting Giorno's gonna grab the stand arrow in the next episode, and he'll use his powered up like gold experience requiem, and he'll probably save Trish. That's what I'm hoping for, and kind of what I'm betting on. But that's what I'm hoping for. With all that said, everybody, I would happily give this episode a solid A-. Solid A-. It was really impressive. There's some stuff that I like, maybe almost borderline too bizarre at points, but at the same time, that is the name of the game. Happy to give this episode an A-. On that note though, everybody, I'm gonna wrap up today's video. So if you guys enjoyed, then by all means, hitting that like button, sharing the video around on the internet, why, that would be super rad of you. And if you'd like to stick around and check out more from me, then by all means, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join the good ones. And as always, before we go, I have to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Dominic, Urza, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Omner Garamond, Opinionated Slime, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Tristan, and Verdon. Thank you guys all so much for your continued support, and until our next meeting, stay rad and don't scary.